We'll be doing that. We'll be selling F-35s here.
Mr. President, you clarify something you posted on Truth Social last night. You urged House Republicans to vote in favor of this Epstein release bill they're going to vote on tomorrow. I just want to be super clear on your position. Do you want to see that pass the Senate? Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to. Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reid Hoffman, you look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton, they went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want is for people to recognize a great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower, on energy, on ending 8 wars and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. You know, we've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that. Unfortunately, like with the Kennedy situation, with the Martin Luther King situation, not to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same category, but no matter what we give, it's never enough. You know, with Kennedy, we gave everything and it wasn't enough. With Martin Luther King, we gave everything and it's never enough. We've already given, I believe the number is 50,000 pages. 50,000 pages.
Welcome back to 45th Perspective. Today, we're diving into some of the latest statements from former President Donald Trump, touching on everything from the Jeffrey Epstein controversy to U.S. Saudi relations and the achievements of the Republican Party. We're going to break it all down, separate the facts from the spin, and give you an honest, right-of-center perspective on what it all means. Trump made it very clear that he wants to distance himself from Jeffrey Epstein, emphasizing that his connections were with Democrats, not Republicans. He named names pointing to Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, and others, stressing that the Democrats' relationship with Epstein is where the real scrutiny lies. At the same time, he defended the Republican Party's accomplishments, saying that the focus on Epstein shouldn't overshadow achievements like lowering prices, improving energy independence, ending wars, and strengthening the economy. He also mentioned that the government has already released a huge amount of information. He cited 50,000 pages, implying that no matter what is given, it never seems to satisfy critics. Shifting to international affairs, Trump highlighted the strength of the U.S. Saudi relationship. He praised the strategic cooperation on energy, AI, and supply chains, noting a massive $1 trillion Saudi investment in the United States. According to him, this is not just economic. It's also national security, creating jobs and strengthening America's global standing. He contrasted his administration's relationship with Saudi Arabia to that of previous presidents, asserting that Obama and Biden did not treat the kingdom well, whereas under his leadership, trust and reliability between the two nations have reached historic highs. On defense, Trump confirmed ongoing sales of advanced American military equipment to Saudi Arabia, including tanks and aircraft, alongside a historic strategic defense agreement. He framed these deals as a win for U.S. jobs and military strength, while reinforcing the idea that the U.S. Saudi partnership is one of the most consequential alliances in the world. Domestically, he touched on broader political issues. He briefly mentioned the House resolution condemning socialism but framed it as less relevant compared to tangible accomplishments. He also spoke about his interactions with local leadership, specifically the incoming New York City mayor, noting ideological differences but highlighting shared practical priorities, like affordability and trade protections. Finally, he commented on Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, clarifying that his disagreements with her were philosophical, not personal, and he even described her as a nice person, underscoring a measured, principled approach to political relationships. So what does this all mean? From a right-of-center perspective, Trump is reinforcing a key narrative, that Republican successes, economic growth, foreign partnerships, military strength, deserve recognition, and that scandals associated with political opponents should not overshadow tangible achievements. He's also positioning the U.S. Saudi relationship as a cornerstone of American strategic and economic strength. Whether you agree with his framing or not, it's a clear reminder of the priorities and messaging of conservative leadership: results, national security, and accountability for those in power. In summary, Trump's comments today are about drawing contrasts, defending the Republican record, and presenting a confident vision of both domestic and foreign policy accomplishments. For viewers trying to make sense of the headlines, it's important to separate the sensationalism from the substance. The takeaways are clear. Focus on measurable results. Understand the strategic value of U.S. alliances, and recognize that political narratives are often shaped by partisan interests. That's it for today's analysis. If you found this breakdown helpful, insightful, and worth sharing, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thank you for watching 45th Perspective, where we cut through the noise and get to the heart of the story.
And it's just a Russia hoax as it pertains to the Republicans. Now, I believe that some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, but they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all. And we'll see what happens. What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract from the great success of the Republican Party, including the fact that the Democrats are totally blamed for the shutdown. You know, they cost our country hundreds of billions of dollars with that, at a lot of inconvenience. So I'm for any. I don't. They can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much, because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them. And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. And I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time. Yeah,
Mr. President, on affordability.
Please. Hello.
Hi, hello. My name is Amal Hazani from Sharq Al-Awsat newspaper. I'm from Riyadh, of course. I have a question for the Crown Prince and for you, Mr. President. Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, how much you expected from developing the cooperation with the United States in the field of new energy, AI, supply chain? How much you expected from that?
No limit. We just continue pushing forward. There's no limit. So we just push forward for all the opportunities that we have.
Okay, Mr. President.
You have to understand, this is really a great ally.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they're now doing, I came in here at 6, I did not know that. I was pushing for the 1 trillion, but he didn't tell me that. Now he told me. This is a great ally of ours. You know, when you invest $1 trillion, that's national security for us too, because it creates jobs, it creates a lot of things. And I would say, Scott, right, when you hear one country is putting $1 trillion into the United States, that creates national security. And, you know, I think that they don't have to say that, but I think a big part of that is also the fact that tariffs are in play. But even beyond tariffs, that's a real ally that will do that. Creates a lot of power for the United States.
Mr. President, we are also in Saudi Arabia very happy because this much of Saudi money is functioned here, and of course it's come back for us for benefits. So it's complementary interest. So this is the I think what's different the friends and ally do.
Well, look, I love the country of Saudi Arabia. I know the people very well. The level of treatment that we go when we go to Saudi Arabia is something that is incredible. And the people like us, and I think they really like America, especially when I'm president. I mean, I don't think they liked America so much maybe for 4 years recently. I think Obama treated Saudi Arabia very, very badly, as you know. And I think Biden didn't have any idea where the hell he was. I don't think Biden knew the difference.
How would you describe the future relationship with Saudi Arabia? I mean, from the strategic aspects. How would you describe
the relationship is with?
Yeah, of economic.
I would say top of the line. It's as good as it can. I don't think it can get much better. We have a country that trusts us, and that's why they make that investment. If they didn't trust us, they couldn't make that investment. And we trust them. They've been very reliable. Now I rebuilt our military in my first term, and we spent trillions of dollars, and we gave away some of it in Afghanistan stupidly because we had stupid people running our country. But we gave away. But that's as much as it was. It's a tiny fraction of what we put here, and we're bringing our military to a new level, the highest level ever. We have those plants are going out, and again, it's all American jobs and everything, so it's good for a lot of reasons. But as far as Saudi is concerned, no, I don't think our relationship could be better. I don't think they had a great relationship under Biden, and I don't think they had a great relationship under Obama. But they have a great relationship under Trump. When we did the presidential Walk of Fame, you saw that, right? And we're walking, and I asked the Crown Prince, so outside of Trump, because I blow everyone away, who was the best president for Saudi Arabia? And you could maybe, it's an interesting answer, I don't know.
The Roosevelt who started it, which is a Democrat, and Reagan, he's one of the historical presidents that have close ties with Saudi Arabia. But we've worked with all presidents.
Does Trump blow them all away?
No, it's another league, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
and Trump doesn't give a fist pump. I grabbed that hand. I don't give a hell where that hand's been. I grabbed that hand. When remember Biden? He travels for 20 hours, gets out, and he gives a fist bump. No. When you get out of the plane and you got the future king and the man who's one of the most respected people in the world, you shake his hand. You don't give him a fist bump, right? We don't want to ask you about that, but I can't imagine you were thrilled. You were like a little bit surprised. He's a fantastic guy. You don't do that. Yeah, please.
we're getting closer to the end of the
Well, thank you very much. And it's great to be here today at the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum. Great group of people. The biggest, you got the biggest in the room. But some of the most talented, maybe most importantly, the word talent, successful and innovative business leaders anywhere on the planet. Whether you have come from near or far, we're delighted to have you invest right here in the hottest country anywhere in the world. Every leader is saying the United States, we're the hottest country in the world. We're going to keep it that way, too. But this has been, according to those that seem to say it, and I will say it, I would never say a thing like that because I want to be very modest. I always want to be modest as I can. They say this has been the best 9 months that any president has ever had. I'd say that's pretty good, right? But we've had a great 9 months. Now we have to do it more than a few more times. We just have to keep it going. We'll keep it going. I want to thank my friend, a great gentleman, Crown Prince Mohammed of Saudi Arabia, for his bold leadership and deep commitment to the ties between our two countries. Thank you. Thank you. Great gentleman. Yesterday, we had a phenomenal visit at the White House celebrating the 80-year bond between the United States and Saudi Arabia. We ended with an unbelievable show last night in a room that was far too small, but the next time you're here, you'll have a much bigger room. It's going to be much bigger. I made more enemies last night by not, we had 119 people. That was a record for the room. So they've wanted for 150 years. They've been clamoring for a ballroom at the White House, and we're giving them one. We're giving them 1+, and it'll be something. But you'll be here. You'll be among the first, if not the first, if you'd like. You know, we'll work it out. But you had a lot of people that wanted to be there. They really would have witnessed something that was really incredible. The entertainment last night was incredible, including our great opera singer, but including the military. The talent and the military musically is also incredible. So it was great to be with you last night. I think it was something to behold. We officially designated the kingdom yesterday as the major non-NATO ally. That's a big deal. That's actually a very big deal. Great honor. That happens seldom, very seldom. if at all. So I just want to congratulate you on that. That's a sign of trust. We signed a historic strategic defense agreement yesterday also, and that's something that is likewise very rare, and it's a very honored company that you're in. And we're going to be selling Saudi Arabia some of the greatest military equipment ever built. We build the best military equipment in the world by far. That's why we do the most business, including nearly 300 American-made tanks is what you're buying, among many other things, the airplanes, and we're working on getting that approved very quickly. It's already approved, but don't worry. We have to go through a process. The process will take, Elon knows, the process will take about, would you say 24 hours? I think so. You're in good shape, very good shape. The partnership between our two nations is among the most consequential in the entire world, and together the Crown Prince and I are making an alliance stronger and more powerful than it's ever been before. We've had good relations.
I want to ask the mayor-elect about a House resolution that just passed overwhelmingly to condemn socialism, including with 86 Democrats, all of House Dem leadership, and the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, despite his endorsement of you. What's your reaction to that?
I have to be honest with you, I focused very little on resolutions. Frankly, I've been focusing...
Socialism.
I understand. I think the focus is on the work at hand. I can tell you I am someone who is a democratic socialist. I've been very open about that. And I know there might be differences about ideology, but the place of agreement is the work that needs to be done to make New York City affordable. That's what I look forward to.
And I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
And Mr. President, I wanted to ask you also...
Okay, how about you? Go ahead, please.
You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to, but you used to call New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job, and we'll help him do a great job. You know, he may have different views, but in many ways, you know, we were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea, because he was strong on not getting ripped off in trade and lots of the things that I've practiced and been very successful on. Tariffs, a lot of things. Bernie Sanders and I agreed on much more than people thought. And when he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. And, you know, it just turned out to be a statistical truth. But no, I feel very comfortable. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. Yes, please. But if they need it, I would do it.
Mr. President, are you willing to forgive Congresswoman Taylor Greene?
Forgive for what? No, I just disagreed with her philosophy. She started backing perhaps the worst Republican congressman in our history, just you know, stupid person named Massey, and I said, go your own way. And once I left her, she resigned because she would never have survived a primary. But I think she's a nice person. Okay, thank you very much.